What is up, lads and ladies, it's Edward here and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing basically a season review, probably going to be one of the last videos of the 2018-19 season, and just seeing really, the good, the bad and the blue of Everton's season of 2018-2019. So we may as well start off with basically the good side of it. And the good side, we can start off from the beginning, because the signings, including Marcel Brands, when he first came in, they all just worked brilliantly. Even the ones that didn't have that much game time, they did brilliant in terms of performance-wise for most of the season. Luca Dean, Andre Gomez, Kurt Zuma as well, who obviously we're trying to get permanently at the minute, and we've already got Andre, so that makes a big difference in terms of the team size. But those sort of players, they all fitted in really well, and of course, who can forget Richarlison, young player of the season as well. So two signings that we made for this season got the player of the season awards. That instantly shows the impact that they've had. And I think a lot of people seem to forget as well that we basically signed Marcel Brands this season, and I think I've said it before, he'll be our best signing in years to come. It's just showing how much of a progression that we can make as a club with him, or sort of a director of football with the experience. So we may as well start off as well with the start of the season, and it started off pretty well. Good results, good performances, because even in games that we lost, say like Arsenal or United away, we performed really well there, and we showed that we could go to a big side. We're not scared to try and take points or try and get a win there. It's sort of that attitude of, let's not protect ourselves, try and get a point out of the game, try and get a clean sheet, whatever. No, we go in and try to win those games. Arguably, we haven't had the best of luck with the referees this season when it comes to those games, but we'll speak about that in a bit. But in most games, even when we lost, we played well, sort of thing. So it showed what Silva can do with an attacking. Yes! As you can tell, I'm not in the standard sort of setup area. Obviously, when we hit that bit of a dip in the middle of the season, it wasn't great. We didn't do great for a lot of months, but he was able to bounce back, and he used the support and the likes of the siren in one of the derbies to just try and win over the fans again. He stuck with his tactics, so fair play to him, and he was able to bounce back and really show what we can do in terms of even against the top six or just any of the sides, and just prove consecutive victories, 3 on the bounce. It just shows the sort of progression that we can make. So of course we'll start off with the bad, and of course the biggest bad was the Anfield derby. We deserved a lot more, but we were undone at the last moment, and from there it was downhill. One simple mistake by Pickford, just literally underestimating it, and he is young, he'll learn not to do stuff like that, but unfortunately it was just that particular game that he had to make that mistake in. It all just sort of got undone. Every good performance, every good team momentum that we made just felt like it unravelled. I'm not completely blaming it on Pickford, because we shouldn't blame it completely on the derby. Realistically, we should have the experience to put it in our heads straight away. Just sort of, right, let's concentrate on the next game. We did get a few wins, don't get me wrong, we can't say we got completely nothing at all, but in a lot of the months that followed, we put in okay performances, but something there wasn't clicking. But of course, it didn't help that the derby was at the start of December, and December always screwed us over in terms of the fixtures congestion wise, because we don't have the squad yet to be able to contend with it, say Liverpool or City, which is why they did so well in those months, because they were able to sort of chop and change players, but it's everyone on a certain quality, so they're able to win a lot of games easily because they simply have the quality as a whole in the squad. So obviously the dip wasn't good enough for some fans, and it was sad to see particularly a certain amount of fans turning on the players that they were just chanting about mere months ago, which I didn't personally agree with. I didn't like the fact that we had a lot of attitude, and a lot of it with these fans need to stop having these knee-jerk reactions of sell Pickford, sell Garner, sell Richarlison. The amount of times that you see that during this dip in form is ridiculous. You know, these players performed brilliantly months ago. You know, they were getting the names sung out. So I'm sorry, how does that mean then that we have to sell them straight away? No, people just need to have a bit of patience and just calm down with it. Then when players were tired or injured, we needed a consistent team. So immediately then, when they rushed in too quickly to try and build a bit of form, players like Gay and Gomez near at the end of the December, they weren't 100%, so either they don't play or the midfield just loses out because we just don't have the energy of everyone being at 100%. And during the dip, the players, you know, some of their efforts weren't good enough. I won't name any names, but certain players, there was not as much effort going in as the rest of the team, so maybe arguably they need to go, or they need to at least buck up and try and improve again. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't help with the referees for this season, you know, the lack of consistency, I'll say. You know, even if they're bad referees, even if it's bad games, at least you learn to be able to sort of contend with the bad referees. But if it's inconsistent in terms of how bad they are, how good they are, whatever, it makes it very, very difficult to try and win or play a game. And it wasn't, I'm not saying that as an excuse for Everton, because it was the same with quite a few different teams, you know, the likes of, say, Watford or Brighton, you know, those kind of teams where it's a bit like we're trying to get as many points as we can in terms of winning for games, and then you get a dodgy offside or a penalty or anything like that. I mean, it came for us, it came against us, but that's something that really needs to be addressed a lot in the coming months. I mean, they've got VAR coming in next season. Whether that's going to make a blind bit of difference, I don't know, but we'll see. So now we go on to the blue, because it's the sort of like the overall and just looking forward. I mean, we can say that once we found a consistent team, we used the support, we improved, and we gained from it. You know, we did make mistakes, like against, say, for example, Liverpool, or against Newcastle, or Fulham is another one. But we learned from there to sort of not take anything for granted, play the game to 90 minutes, and really just go at it and try and win these games, which we did for basically the latter part of the season. It's nice to see as well that we've signed Gomez, we're trying to get Zuma, we're trying to keep this same team so then it can work and build on for next season as well. But I think there's something as well that we need to say is Silva needs time. I mean, Silva and Brands both need time, because I can personally understand why people wanted to get rid of him during the whole season. Obviously it wasn't working out. He was very stubborn in his tactics, a bit like maybe Martinez, you could say. But fans can be sceptical in terms of like how previous managers have had like the second year syndrome. But we've shown good progress of what we can do with Silva and with Brands. So maybe just a bit of patience, a bit of time, because people seem to realise it's a big long-term project that we're trying to break into the top six, and we're trying to do something with them. But whether we'll do it with Silva, I hope so, because I think he's done brilliant this season in a lot of games, and we'll see, basically. But you know, Silva's shown in spells when he and Brands work on the squad and transfers, they can put a good team together and get results. So shows that progression as well. And people seem to forget, squads with successful and improved managers, you know, like say, for example, in recent times, Pochettino, Klopp, both in Champions League finals, one of them winning it, unfortunately. And, you know, when they first started off with Tottenham and Liverpool, they didn't do the greatest. You know, Klopp didn't finish in a great position in his first season. Pochettino wasn't that great with them, but they had time to build up their squad how they wanted. What they needed, so they improved it in that respect, and they just built and built and built and built and built. And obviously, you know, Champions League finals, winning trophies, it sort of shows that if you have a bit of patience with them. I mean, for example, Alex Ferguson finished 11th in his first season with United. Look where it got him. Just a bit of patience. Bit of patience is all that's needed. Because at the end of the day, this team and the manager are very young, very naive in terms of like what the tactics, what the game plan is, because people seem to forget that we're not signing players sort of over 25 anymore. All the signings we made last season were 25 or under, so it shows we're trying to build for a future. Silva's young in terms of his tactics, he's young, but he'll get experience, and you never know, he might take us on to the next level. But that's really it for this video. If you've enjoyed it anyway, please leave a like, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below, and also check out all the social medias. Big news coming up very soon. Looking forward to announcing it. And we'll see you in the next one. Adios.